that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. But it comes to the end of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Jesus saved me a time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me a time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. It is here in the Father's kingdom. It was there for me. You took me in, and you washed away my sins. You washed away.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter here. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. Happy Wednesday to you as I scoot around on my seat here. You can see cats in the background there judging me. Um, Happy Wednesday, y'all. I hope hope it was a good day for you as we get closer to Friday. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. Hope you're all those things and everything in between. Um, so I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't planning on streaming tonight. I was gonna take it easy, go to bed. Uh, Had a bit of a long day. But yeah, I was kind of just feeling going to bed. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all. In case you haven't heard by now, Michelle Trachtenberg, who a lot of you know from, of course, Euro Trip and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she died today. She was 39. Like, goddamn, 39 years old. So fucking young. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This hit me. This one hurts a lot, actually, and I'll kind of get into why. So, of course, um, I had no idea she was older than me, to be honest. Um, but I really grew up with Michelle Trachtenberg. So, she was on Nickelodeon a good amount. I remember her, of course, from The Adventures of Pete and Pete. That was like her launching pad. I'm completely blanking. Nona, that was it. Nona Mecklenburg. Yeah. Or Nona. Yeah, it was like Mona or something like that. But she really ended up becoming Little Pete's sidekick. I'm blanking on uh, blanking on the actor's name, Danny something, I think. But he but they really end up becoming this really fun kind of like double head, like two-headed monster on the show. Really great comedic relief and timing between the two of them. Even as kids, you could see how talented she was. And I think a lot of kids who grew up around the time I did, of course, y'all remember Harriet the Spy. Um, I started journaling in large part because of Harriet the Spy. Like, so I discovered like Harriet the Spy and like Encyclopedia Brown at the same time. There's a reference for you. So I would have been like 87. Yeah, so I would have been like, I would have been like 8 or 9. And I remember watching Harriet the Spy, and the thing about Harriet the Spy gets pretty dark. It's like a shockingly dark movie. For those of you who don't remember, um, she plays Trachtenberg, of course, plays the titular Harriet, but through circumstances, her notebook, her secret notebook, as she calls it in the film, ends up being stolen, and it's where she is very honest with herself and writes about her friends and how they can be annoying sometimes and they can be shitty, and how she doesn't trust believe in herself sometimes. Like it's a very raw thing, and I think they portray her in Harriet the Spy. I don't think she's even 10 in the movie. I think she's like 8. And it's really interesting how there are these actual like spy elements to it, but once that notebook is laid bare and everyone kind of hears her shit, how her world just crumbles. And it's a really interesting film. Like it's like, I'm gonna review it this weekend. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, um but actually, let me check, because if I can't review here at Spy, I will review like Euro Trip or something. Um oh shit, here at the Spy is streaming on Pluto TV right now, by the way. Yeah, fuck it. I will review here at the Spy this weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna review that this weekend. That is only fitting. Maybe I'll do a double feature. Maybe I'll review both. I will definitely review Harry the Spy, but it's kind of crazy, y'all. Like it's one of those movies that, as I'm like thinking back on it, I'm like that's it. It's kind of groundbreaking for a kids' film. So I'm actually I'm excited to revisit that because I do remember parts about it. And that was a time too. I think this is something else that's very underrated and understated too. Is Rosie O'Donnell in the '90s was a big fucking deal. Between Now and Then and Tarzan and Harriet the Spy and the Rosie O'Donnell Show, which predates Ellen. I'm sure Rosie was much nicer to work for too. And then A League of Their Own. Rosie O'Donnell was fucking amazing in the '90s, and she's fucking funny, and I really don't think she gets the props that she actually genuinely deserves. I think she's incredibly fucking talented, and the chemistry between Trachtenberg and O'Donnell is one of the best things about the film. Like it's so well done. Um, I'm really goddamn. Yeah, I might watch that. I'm not gonna watch it tonight because I'd probably pass out. I'm very tired. But I really dug that movie, and I really dug her on The Adventures of Pete and Pete. It sucks because you can't find The Adventures of Pete and Pete anywhere. I have looked. You can't, like, I've used my VPN. Apparently the fucking rights are like, I was reading up on there's this like distribution thing about the rights and like who owns like the actual show. Um I it's way more complicated than I thought it would be. So that's why apparently because they for a very short amount of time because I originally had it and someone stole them. Fuck you, by the way, whoever you were. But they were selling season 1 and season 2 of The Adventures of Pete and Pete. I think for like a year, and then whatever happened with the rights came up, and so then they went ahead and pulled it, and you can't even buy it physical again, which is why physical media is important, kids. Um, so like I'm double checking Amazon because I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's like no. Yeah, like it's used like that. That's the only way you can find it. Um, so it's interesting because I would. That's a show I'd really like to revisit. The Adventures in Pete and Pete's a very weird show, and as a coming of age show, because that is what it is, it makes a lot of sense that I love stuff like The Edge of 17 and Lady Bird and Are You There, God, to Me, Margaret. That makes a lot of sense why those films just like hit for me because it yeah, because I love adventures. I've always loved weird stuff. I was talking to Alea about how I was watching Space Ghost when I was 8, and I thought that was the funniest fucking show in the world. I still think it's the funniest fucking show in the world. I have the volumes 1 through 3 of it because David Zaslav, that fucker, and Warner Brothers pulled Space Ghost off Max for some fucking reason, which put that shit back, by the way, assholes. But I pardon me. But yeah, I haven't. I think I watched it kind of recently. I've watched it in actually I watched it during lockdown. Euro Trip is just a fun fucking movie. It really is. It's a genuinely fun flick. It's a great double feature, by the way, with Sex Drive, which I am going to review here at some point. That's one of the lost reviews, but yeah, she plays a Jenny in that, and she's one of she's the sister uh, to one of the characters in the film. But she one thing about her, she always had a really great comedic timing. That's something that you saw in Buffy quite a bit, and I know what allegedly happened there. But I'll use that to segue. I was not a fan of Dawn when they introduced her because they definitely introduced her as like the bratty little sister, but she was like the key to everything in she was like the key to everything in season 5. Oh, Kitty's here. I love Kitty. Hi, sweetheart. Um, but I wasn't a fan. Uh, I wasn't a fan of her. I wasn't a fan of how they introduced her. I I was not a fan of hers at all. Um, oh hi, hey, hi Lizzie, hey hun. Um, so I was torn. I was torn. They introduced her, but they did a really great job of making her feel important, fitting in with the Scooby Gang, and actually becoming her own character to a point where there are multiple points in the later seasons, because they introduced her season 5, if memory serves. But there are multiple points where she is in danger, and it's like she might get off, and I was like, oh shit, like don't kill her off. So I really ended up liking Dawn quite a bit, and I've talked about it before. I think I've talked about it before. I have watched Gossip Girl. I actually think Gossip Girl, it's perfect schlock. Like that's the perfect way to put it. Is Gossip Girl is a bunch of it's preppy white people. It's Always Sunny. It's just not as well written. Like that's what that's what Gossip Girl is. But it kind of works because everyone is so shitty. It's kind of like the OC. You know what I mean? Because like the OC at a point, you're just like, you all probably deserve to just get hit by a meteor. I but I actually like Gossip Girl. Um so yeah, it sucks, man, because like she didn't even get to 40, and we don't know what the cause of death is, so we're not gonna not gonna speculate. But um I've read some really sweet tributes. It can be cringe. It definitely can be cringe, but I like cringe. Like cringe humor really works for me. Like It's Always Sunny can get very cringe, but I like cringe though. I like when people feel a little uncomfortable sometimes in the humor. That's why Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, Norm, is one of my favorite comedians because Norm just found a way to make things so uncomfortable. I like a little uncomfortable sometimes with my humor, but um yeah, fucking just oh, they're saying natural causes. Okay. Um well, it was sad because, like, man, I just feel bad, man. I really just feel bad for because I mean the tributes that are coming out have been just like so kind into some of how sweet she was and how kind and how kind she was and what a joy she was to work with and how funny she was like it's always like I think you'll know what I mean. It's always nice when, someone passes, unfortunately, obviously, but then you hear like what a great person they were. And they're not just doing it because, they passed on, but like you can feel the love um for someone. Um, that I felt that shit when Chadwick died, like just the outpouring of people just being like, dude, Chadwick was amazing. You know what I mean? And it's been really it's been nice to know that she was loved and cared for, but by so many. It's just just 39, just goddamn, it's just so young. And um and I will say too, um James Marsters, who of course played Spike on Buffy Vampire Slayer, his tribute was incredibly sweet, and actually that's one of the better kind of under the radar friendships on the show is Spike and Dawn, because like he ends up kind of being like babysitter, kind of like Steve is to the kids on Stranger Things, and it actually works as a very fun. It's a very fun dynamic. Um, it's just yeah, it's crazy, um, but I will say one of the things too that I remember from was Inspector Gadget, because I'm a big Inspector Gadget fan. I know, very fucking random. Uh, I'm not a fan of like the movie. Like the movie, whatever. It doesn't really need to exist. It's kind of a weird movie. But her playing Penny, she actually seemed like the only one who was trying outside of Rupert Grint. Because Matthew Broderick could give an absolute Rupert Everett, pardon me. He could Rupert Grint. That's fucking oh my god, the guy from Harry Potter who's named how am I blanking on the guy's name from Ron? Jesus Christ, could not think of Ron's name. Um yeah, but she was a fun Penny too. So it's just it's really sad. It's really sad. But what I will say is like I was just a fan of her work, and yeah, and to everyone that knew her, and who was close to her, my truly my condolences to y'all. Um Yeah, and Michelle Trachtenberg, rest in peace. We will, I will have reviews up before Sunday for Hair at the Spy and Euro Trip. I think that would be a fun trip to go on. Watch those. I might watch Ice Princess too. So like, okay, really random. I watched Ice Princess during lockdown because I was just like rewatching stuff that I didn't want to watch anything heavy, like too heavy, you know what I mean? Because fucking pandemic. Because I almost rewatched The Wire, and I was like, why would I do that to my like The Wire is the best show. I don't give a fuck what you Breaking Bad fans say it is The Wire. God damn it, it's The Wire. Shut up, shut up. Um, but but I would be lying if I said that like I was like I can't rewatch The Wire. Like that's too heavy. And I remember I was just scrolling through Disney Plus and I saw Ice Princess on there. I was like, I haven't watched Ice Princess in a minute. Let's throw this on. And I gotta tell you, it was something that I was like sitting there going, man, Ice Princess kind of rules. Like, why haven't I like I don't know what put this back on my radar, but I'm happy I rewatched this. So yeah, I might rewatch Ice Princess too, but I will at least have a review or two up in tribute to her. But yeah, Michelle Trachtenberg, rest in peace. Fucking crazy, fucking crazy. Um, I don't even know if I want to talk about Dynamite now. That I just kind of this kind of I'll kind of do a quicker review summary here of Dynamite. Um, so Dynamite tonight kicked off with the Radar superstar Adam Copeland saying that outside of an ambulance, which was a really cool shot, by the way, saying that he's going to go ahead and put members of the Death Riders in the ambulance tonight. Because as you know, the whole storyline they're doing right now is that Copeland is trying to take down, trying to take down John Moxley, but he's trying to eliminate each member of the Death Riders one by one, so that it's 1-on-1 at Revolution. You binge American Horror Story in lockdown? Really? The only thing I remember about American Horror Story, and I've watched, so like I watched some of the first season. I'll be real. I remember Dylan McDermott being really good, and I just remember that hot redhead as the maid. That's about all I remember from season 1. And I remember Coven was actually decent, but then everyone kept getting killed and then just being resurrected. And I was like, all right, I just got to a point. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Plus Ryan Murphy, I'm very much over Ryan Murphy. I wish Ryan Murphy would go away for like 5 years because he's kind of like the Drake, like he's kind of like the Drake of making shows I don't like because he's just relentless with them. Yeah, I heard Asylum was good. But then like I was hearing like, oh, there's Freak Show, and I was just like, oh god, I'm not like clowns, fuck that. And I know he did like Scream Queens, which I watched some of Scream Queens. I thought some parts were fun, but Emma Roberts, like, gosh, she's such a bad actress. Like when I think about nepo babies that really bother me, Emma Roberts is like one of the first names that comes to mind. She is so goddamn bad. Not just abusive, allegedly, but she's fucking terrible. I watched what was it called? It's this movie where she goes to space. I didn't even review it because I forgot I watched it. It actually probably should have been on my worst stuff. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, outside of We're the Millers, oh yeah, she was in The Hunt. Oh, okay, I'll give her The Hunt. I'll give her The Hunt. I'll give her Scream 4. So that's like 3 movies, but she's just done a lot of bullshit. Yeah, Madam Web especially. I'm just like, girl, like, and Palo Alto. I'm not even gonna talk about. What is the name of that fucking space movie? I cannot hang on. Emma Roberts. Space Cadet. Oh god, yeah. Space Cadet is shit. That's a bad fucking movie. And like I said, like I just never yeah, I just never liked her. Um that's just terrible. Yeah, I just why? Like yeah, anyways, but yeah, so that's the storyline they're doing there. So Hangman Page goes ahead and opens up. Had a squash match against Aaron Solo. Solo got this like nice spinning kick in. Page was able to hit him with a short arm clothesline, goes on the ring apron, buckshot lariat, 1, 2, 3. Didn't last more than 2 minutes, nor should it have. So then he goes in and calls out MJF, who we know he's going to be facing at Revolution. And MJF had laid out Christopher Daniels backstage, busting him wide the fuck open. Busting him wide the fuck open. Wiped his blood on this towel they threw out. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so really good segment. I really liked MJF too. Doing the pre-taped interview, where he said that he was done believing in AEW and that he's only believing in himself. And you see that he's having his AEW tattoo removed. I can already hear the WWE marks. MJF to AEW confirmed. Like, shut the fuck up. He's not going to WWE. At least not right now. But a really great opening to. Here's the thing, AEW. The last like 4 months, I'd really say since like December, since World's End ish, or really since the Continental Classics, I'd probably say like November-ish. They've just been on a fucking roll, and I feel like what AEW is acknowledging is that we can't be WWE, nor should we want to be WWE. We need to truly be an alternative, so we can do the Dynamite in like smaller arenas for right now. The crowds are going to be hyped, and then we can do these bigger shows, like bigger arenas for our pay-per-views, and really go all out there. I love the role that they're on right now. The Dynamites feel important. Collision feels important. The pay-per-views feel important. I just love how AEW is spacing everything, and I'm hyped right now for the direction of the company, especially as we head into spring. Will Ospreay went ahead and had like the first actual not squash match of the night, bounty match, as he went ahead and went one-on-one with Brian Keith. Really great match back and forth. We saw a pre-taped backstage segment with Chris Jericho talking about how he retained the Ring of Honor Championship, which Tony Khan, dude, is Ring of Honor getting a TV deal? Because if they're not, can we get this fucking belt off Jericho? Like, I am so goddamn over Chris Jericho. I'm so over him. I don't give a shit. I know people are like, he's a legend. I don't fucking care. Just because you're a legend doesn't mean still need to be wrestling. I am so over Jericho. He should not have a goddamn championship in 2025. Like, I am begging anyone, take that belt off him. I hope it's like, I thought it was going to be Bandito. I really did. I was like, come on, title change, let's go. And Jericho won, and he didn't even cheat to win, which I hate. Because then it's like, oh, you just lost to him straight up. Fucking hated that. So what I'm really hoping is maybe it's Powerhouse Hobbs. Maybe Will Hobbs is the one to beat Jericho for the Ring of Honor Championship. They should do that, because Will Hobbs, I think, as Ring of Honor champion, now I know people worry that he'd get lost like the vortex of Ring of Honor, but I think he could still, pardon me, pop up on AEW. But I think Will Hobbs being in Ring of Honor would actually be a really good thing. Plus, I think that's a very interesting feud with now, if I'm booking Ring of Honor, which Tony Khan, holla at your boy. I'm unemployed. Come on, like, come on, make me I'll help book. But I would love to see Powerhouse Hobbs against Shane Taylor, because Shane Taylor is very underrated. I think Shane Taylor in the world title program would be fascinating, especially with Shane Taylor promotions behind him. That would be a really fun rivalry. So if I'm booking it, I would do that. Just saying. So with that said, yeah, so we see Don Callis backstage talking to Jericho. Of course, Don Callis, Don Callis' family. Kyle Fletcher is going to be facing Will Ospreay at Revolution next Sunday in a steel cage match. But to go ahead and weaken him, Don Callis made this deal with Jericho to go ahead and get the bounty hunter Brian Keith. And that's one thing I will say too about AEW is that the graphics department for these matches, because they do those matchup Monday posters, check it out on Shop AEW right now. The poster is fucking awesome that they have uh uh for um for Brian Keith versus Will Ospreay. But again, great fucking match. Will Ospreay does not miss. He's arguably the best wrestler in the game right now. But this match was great. Like, this was a match, like, as I was watching, I was like, give them like 20 minutes next time, and should have a match of the year candidate on your hands. Absolutely love the ending to this match. Ospreay was able to go ahead and roll through a pin, hit the Styles Clash, rolls out of the Styles Clash to the corner, pulls the elbow pad off, hidden blade, 1, 2, 3. Brian Keith looked like $1 million here. This is arguably the best Brian Keith has looked since he officially signed off AEW. He looked amazing here, and it really does make me think, like, okay, man, like there's something here. Really excited, really excited to see what Brian Keith can do moving forward, because he's special. He's a hell of a talent. But yeah, really solid match. Moving on, in number one contenders match, we had the Murder Machines, the Machine, Brian Cage, and Lance Archer of the Don Callis family versus the Outrunners. Sleep well, kitty. But the Outrunners, man, I love the Outrunners. I love the Outrunners so goddamn much. Youngest men alive. I fucking love the Outrunners, and they won. They fucking won off a roll up, off of distraction roll up. One of the best types of roll ups. The Hurt Syndicate came out to distract the Murdoch machines when Lance Archer had, I believe it was Turbo up for the blackout, and Turbo was able to roll off his shoulders, roll through, got a pin. So the Outrunners will challenge the Hurt Syndicate at Revolution for the AEW Tag Team Championships. It's a shame they won't win, because they're damn sure not going to. But I do hope that the Outrunners do get to look good against the Hurt Syndicate. But yeah, they're not fucking winning. They're definitely not winning. We were promised as well that on Sunday or on Saturday at Collision, we would get hey, what's up, afternoon tune? We found out that we would get an update on Timeless Tony Storm after the attack that Mariah May had on her on Collision, which I'm not gonna lie was fucking brutal. Mariah May beat Tony Storm's ass on Saturday. Like, I know that women's pro wrestling like has only, like, in the States at least, because like if you watch if you're a nerd like your boy and you do watch, CMLL, or you watch, AAA, you watch AAA, or you watch Stardom, women's wrestling's been great for decades there. Like, because they actually treat women's wrestling with way more respect than than we do here. But I will say though, holy shit, you want to talk about one of my favorite rivalries ever? It's Tony Storm and Mariah May. It has been fucking cinema between the two of them, and the way that they play off each other, and the way that they've thrown in these very classic cinematic elements into their story. I love the rivalry, and I'm sad it's going to end on Sunday. At least for now, it's going to end a week from Sunday. But I'm really excited to see what they do and how they close it all out. So I'm really hyped actually to see how Tony Storm and Mariah May wraps up. Moving on, Swerve Strickland came out and talked about how he is the first Black AEW world champion, one of the few Black world champions, unfortunately, in history, because there should be more. But Swerve Strickland, man, you want to talk about a guy, like, he literally signed about 3 years ago, almost to the day, and because he signed at Revolution 3 years ago. So, but I remember when Swerve came out and he signed his contract, he literally signed his contract in front of everyone and was like, I'm going to be the AEW world champion. I'm going to help transform this company. And Swerve Strickland has been a godsend for Tony Khan. That's why he already signed him to a longer term deal. I think he signed Swerve like a additional 4-year deal. I think Swerve had 2 years left on his deal already. So like Tony Khan is like, I want to keep your ass around. And he should want to, because Swerve Strickland's fucking amazing. And I really like the way that Prince Nana and the robe has the significance to him. But I really love how this feels important. This feels like a grudge match. Like, it doesn't always have to be about a championship. Sometimes it can just be a straight up hatred. And Swerve Strickland hates Ricochet. He's talked about how he fucking hates Ricochet. I love how much he hates Ricochet. I mean, Ricochet busted Swerve open with a pair of scissors, threatened Nana, took Nana's jacket. Like, I love the way that Ricochet's been kind of playing this cat and mouse game, the two of them, but he's still been a fucking weasel. Like, it's very fun. It's very Silence of the Lambs-esque. And now they are doing a rematch of them 1-1 at Revolution. The caveat now is that the winner becomes the number 1 contender for the AEW Championship. So here's where it gets interesting. Do you have Copeland beat Moxley, and then you have Copeland for Swerve? Do you have Christian Cage cash in his contract, beat Copeland, and then we get Swerve Christian Cage 2? Does Mox retain? Because we haven't gotten Mox Swerve in like almost 2 years, since like the Continental Classic a couple years ago. So I mean, it's very interesting. Like, but also, is there a world where Ricochet wins? Ricochet could win. Like, I mean, I know he beat Swerve once. I mean, he did beat him, through some tomfoolery, admittedly, but there is a world where he does win. So I'm real curious to see how the story is going to play out. But yeah, very, very intrigued and very happy they added that match. Moving on, we had the Undisputed Kingdom, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole, Bebe, taking on FTR. Good to see FTR. Love me some FTR. And TNT champion Daniel Garcia. So here's the thing. One of my biggest gripes with Tony Khan has been the cooling off of the trios division and the tag division, and how he really needs to focus on both. He has enough talent to go ahead and focus on both. He has grizzled young vets. He has, he has Private Party. He has the Hurt Syndicate. He has the Outrunners. He's got Top Flight. He's got Murder Hawk Machines. He's got the Infantry, part of Shane Taylor Promotions. He's got Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, if he wants to have them be a tag team. He's got, the combination of, like, he's got Hook, Shibata, and Samoa Joe. Like, there are trios teams and there are tag teams that he could easily go ahead that he could go ahead and push. Like, he just needs to go ahead and do it consistently. So I'm happy to see it seems like the trios division's getting heated back up again, because you got to get those belts off the Death Riders. They had a good reign in terms of their dominance and everything, but I want new trio champions. I would personally love if we got I would love the Bang Bang Gang to get him back. I don't know how far away Juice Robinson is. He's probably another 3-4 months away, probably, because I think he has the ACL. But if somehow Juice Robinson could be back by summer, oh my god, give him back to the Bang Bang Gang. I would love that. Also, like, fucking Leo Rush and Action Andretti. That's a fun tag team. Like, they have tag teams. They just need to go ahead and take advantage of them. So, and go ahead and use them. So, but this was a great fucking 6-man. This was a great trios match, ending with Adam Cole pulling a Daniel Garcia, getting the jackknife cover and pinning him for a 3 when Garcia's going for the power driver. And so it's official now. We're getting Adam Cole, Bay challenging for the TBS or for the TNT championship against Daniel Garcia on Saturday. I do wish we could have maybe taken another week to kind of build the story up, because I think having the title match on the Saturday, the night before a pay-per-view, I think that just would have been a little better. But regardless, it's still gonna be a great match with what we get, because I do think Garcia needs to start getting like some more singles wins. So I'm happy that I'm happy we went ahead and got that. So um moving forward, we moved on and we had Claudio Castagnoli, love that man, and Adam Copeland brawling to the ring. One of the cool spots here, one of the cool spots that I really liked is when Copeland hit Claudio. He's in the crowd. Claudio goes stumbling backwards, and Copeland runs over to the seats and high fives this little kid. It was the cutest thing. That kid looked like that made his life. So so good for you, son. You're gonna remember that. But Copeland ends up taking Claudio out with a spear and a concerto, one man concerto. After Jay White came out and ran interference, which I really like. How Jay at some point the shoe's got to drop and Jay White's going to drop Copeland. And the thing is, when he does it, I'm not going to see him as a heel. I'm going to go like, dude, he wants to be fucking champion. I don't blame him. Like, that's coming. That has to be coming. So it'll be interesting to see how when that trigger gets pulled, because it's definitely going to get pulled at some point. But I love that Copeland, that Marina Shafir went to choke Copeland out, and Yuta ends up accidentally giving her the running knee, Daniel Bryan's finishing move, the Busaiku knee. And so he has her set up like he's going to give her a concerto. But then calling back to a couple of weeks ago when Shafir jumped Willow Nightingale backstage, Willow comes running out looking as good as she wants to look. God, I love Willow. And Willow goes ahead and gives her a concerto. So here's the thing, y'all. Marina Shafir hasn't wrestled in AEW in a minute, but she's wrestled in Defy Wrestling like a good amount. So she's been working the indie circuit, getting better. I think she's actually a pretty damn good wrestler. Her and Willow needs to happen, and that'll be a fun fucking match when we get there. But I love Willow coming out and going ahead and doing the concerto. I thought that was a great piece of storytelling and did a really great job of reestablishing her. Really dug it. Moving forward, we had Harley Cameron. I love Harley Cameron. We had Harley Cameron versus Deonna Purrazzo. And so the crowd loves Harley, man. They really love her. The crowd's behind her. They were cheering her on. She was clearly feeling it, and the crowd was giving her love. And I will say too, versus Deonna Purrazzo. Purrazzo, man, Purrazzo's such a great natural heel. I'm such a fan of Purrazzo. I dig her. I'm such a fan of Purrazzo's, but I but oh my gosh, lost my train of thought. But Harley was able to go ahead and get the pin with kind of this crossroads looking like DDT. I see what she's trying to do. She just needs to work on the move. But yeah, she was able to get the win on Purrazzo. So Harley Cameron has pinned Taya Valkyrie and Deonna Purrazzo. So she's pinned the whole Vendetta by herself. Okay, here's the thing. Harley Cameron is the hotness right now. You ride her phrasing. You ride her. You ride that momentum. She should be holding a championship by this time next year. She honestly should. Here's the thing, though. I love Deonna Purrazzo. I've been a fan of Deonna Purrazzo since her Ring of Honor Women's Championship reign. She is too goddamn good to not be involved in something more. So they need to go ahead and figure out something with her. So I've been saying, people, what have I been saying? Women's tag titles. I think Purrazzo and Valkyrie would be perfect inaugural women's tag team champions. What they need to do right now with the Vendetta is they need to add another member, and they need to go ahead and start getting some wins, start racking up some wins. What they need to do first is, I think once they introduce this new member, they need to beat the shit out of Harley Cameron. And I mean like bloody her up, like fucking make the crowd like angry. Like, because the crowd is so behind her, you need to show them to be a threat. So I think taking out Harley Cameron, I think would be a great call. And then I think that would allow for a more angry side of Harley's personality to come out. And when I say take her out, I mean take her out for like 3-4 weeks. Like I genuinely think having Harley Cameron get written off because of an attack by the Vendetta would be fucking fantastic. So um yeah, they need to go ahead and do something with the Vendetta, do something Prazo. Um, Lady Frost, I don't think she's signed yet because she still works Ring of Honor. Lady Frost would be a perfect addition to the Vendetta. That's actually exactly who it should be. Actually, yeah, boom, I just talked myself into it. Seriously, Tony Khan, Lady Frost, like have her join the Vendetta. Like, do it. Do it. Um, and then our main event, winner of this match will defend the AEW International Championship at Revolution against the cleaner, the god of pro wrestling, Kenny Omega. It was a former two-time international champion, Orange Cassidy, versus the current AEW International Champion, the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. What a great fucking match this was. Like, two of the best that AEW has, bringing it, going out determined to steal the show, and god damn, they steal the show. This match fucking ruled. I love this fucking match. Konosuke Takeshita's run has been excellent. He's been one of the best wrestlers on the planet for the last I would say at least 18 months. Um, but seeing him go to Japan, seeing him in MLW, um, Takeshi's been incredible. And there is a counter in this match where Orange Cassidy goes for that spitting DDT he does when he runs off the ropes and someone catches him. But then Takesha grabbed him and then goes to German suplex him. But then Cassidy looked like he was going to do the Stun Dog Millionaire. But then Takesha went ahead and held him in that position, spun him around, and hit a Blue Thunder Bomb. It's one of the smoothest counters I've seen in my fucking life, which got a very close 2 count. But at the end of the day, Takesha was able to go ahead and win after hitting his Hellfire, I think that's what it's called, spinning Michinoku driver after one of the stiffest forearms I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like it oh my god, I thought he killed him. But Konosuke Takeshita, he will go one-on-one with Kenny Omega. Keep in mind, he has 2 wins over Kenny Omega. One in the 6-man at All In, and then he pinned him one-on-one at All Out. So he's beaten Omega a couple times. It's the 3rd time the charm for Omega. I don't know, man. I wouldn't take the title off Takeshita right now. Because I do. Yeah, I wouldn't take the title off Takeshita. I let him ride it out. Even if you want to do shenanigans to keep Omega, kind of strong. I love the concept of Takeshita being Omega again, and Omega having to figure out Takeshita. But I really, really, really love this match, and I actually might watch it back here in a bit. I like the match that much. It was that fucking great. But yeah, y'all, AEW Dynamite, man, they've been rolling on their shows. Like and to give you the updated card, real quick, I'm hyped for this. I'm hyped for this fucking show. AEW World Championship #1 contenders match: Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet, MJF versus Hangman Page, AEW Women's World Championship: Toni Storm versus Mariah May, AEW International Championship: Konosuke Takeshita versus Kenny Omega, Steel Cage match: Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, AEW World Championship match: Jon Moxley versus Adam Copeland, AEW Women's World Championship match: Mercedes Moné versus Momo Watanabe from Stardom. I did forget to mention that segment because Mercedes Moné was shown backstage talking her shit about how she's still 4 belts Moné, and then who would pop up but Billy Starks? Billy Starks popped up and went ahead and talked some shit to Mercedes, and that's what led to Watanabe popping up behind Mercedes with a baseball bat and swinging at her. So the tease is very interesting because Billy Starks has been she's wrestled a couple times in AEW, like she wrestled on the All Out pre-show or something like that, but she's mostly been in Ring of Honor. And who has been basically exclusive to Ring of Honor? Her boss, the Minion Overlord, our forever champion, our forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Athena. So if they're building towards Athena versus Mercedes Monet, like the question is, when do you do that match? Because I don't know if you want to hold out for All In Texas. You could. I mean, because that's what, like, July, August. I think it's July this year. So I mean, you could maybe wait till then, but I don't know. It's a very interesting problem to have, because I almost feel like you do it maybe at Double or Nothing in May, but that may not. They might want to do it in All In because that's Athena's home state. So I don't know, but it was a very interesting tease as far as something we could be getting sooner potentially than we think. But yeah, this is another banger Dynamite. This was fucking great. I'd give this Dynamite solid B plus. I dug the hell out of this. The main event, the match is pretty much all around were really fun. So yeah, but a B plus for me for this week's Dynamite. Like I said, AEW's been rolling. They've been on a real nice roll the last like 6 months or so, I would say, or like 4 months or so. They've yeah, they're really in rhythm right now. But pardon me. Pardon me. But yeah, y'all. So did you watch Dynamite tonight? If you did, let me know what you thought in the comments. You can go and follow the show on YouTube at The Real Pineapple. That's REEL Pineapple. Go ahead and follow me on IG and TikTok at JHunter Real Pineapple. Follow me on Letterboxd at Black Shazam. Go ahead and like, share, and rate the podcast. It definitely helps me out. Find the show on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneUp, and Samsung Podcasts, to name a few, at The Real Pineapple. And go ahead and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Real Pineapple. And like both our pages on Facebook at The Real Pineapple and Real Pineapple Games. Thank you so much for listening, y'all. Gonna have reviews up this week. I'm gonna be doing a review, or not a review, but I'll be doing a stream on Saturday of my Oscar picks. Gonna probably be doing that like 7 p.m. Eastern, probably right around there. So tune into that. I will be going over my Oscar ballot. I already have it filled out. I might make some changes, but I'm going by what I want to win this year, not what I think is gonna win, because there's some people I already have a sad feeling that are going to win that I'm not happy about. So, but yeah, everyone, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate y'all, and I hope you're having a good week. But hang in there, y'all. We're almost at Friday. It's almost the weekend. But thanks so much for tuning in. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. We could all use some more positivity. And never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys on Saturday. Cheers.